So, last topic I want to discuss and I want to talk about in that lecture is one thing which is frequently asked by doctors, by friends, by relatives, by some people who knows that I'm dealing with genetic microbiology. A lot of people uh, trying to find out what is GMO. It is one of the modern topics of discussion, a lot of doubts, a lot of news, a lot of laws, a lot of things is going on around that topic. So GMO, common abbreviation, common three letters, means that genetically modified or genetically changed organisms. Is it good to use some products which are genetically modified? Is it bad? A lot of discussions again, a lot of people trying to get know, is it safe to use something modified in genetic level, or maybe it's harmful. So let's try to get know what is GMO, how those products are obtained, what it means that organism modified in genetic level. Is it good or is it bad to have GMO in our daily life? So first of all, GMO is identified by World Health Organization is uh, any organism, plant, animal, microorganism, any type of organism, a live organism, in which genetic material, means DNA, has been altered in a way that does not occur naturally. Means it can have some combination of genes which is impossible in nature. So in use in papers you can make definition of modern biotechnology, gene technology, recombinant DNA technology, genetic engineering. Any term refers to the same science, to the same area of medicine, of biology. So genetic engineering allows selected individual genes to be transferred from one organism into another, even between non-related species. So again, is it something new? Actually, no. If we will try to get deeper in history, if you will read some papers and articles in agriculture, in biology, in some recent attempts to obtain new quality in some organism, you will meet the definition as selection. Selection is known for centuries. It is science when two organisms with required properties are mated together. A lot of experiments were done in plants. A lot of experiments were done in animals. For example, we have multiple different species of cows. We have uh, some cows which are adapted to cold climate. They have very strong immunity. They are heavy. They are tough, but because of poor nutrition, they give small amount of milk. Milk is less in amount. It is less good quality, less number of vitamins, less proteins. Milk is not very good, but cows are strong. They have good immunity. They are adapted to different climate conditions. And we have some cows which are living, for example, in hot climate, in some Alps, alpine mountain. Very good climate, a lot of grass, sun, a lot of area. Cows have very good milk. Milk is perfect. It is rich with proteins. It is fats, rich with vitamins. But cows are weak. they're not adapted to changing climate, they're not adapted to cold climate, they're sensitive, they're susceptible to different diseases. So how to get a good cow strong enough with the good milk? Always people try to cross two cows. Make a hybrid. Take one cow with the strong immunity, some from cold climate, one cow which gives a good milk, and make next generation. And you all know that during sexual contact, uh, cells will change genetic material. Half of the cell will be obtained from one cow, half of the cell will be obtained from another cow. And it is some chance that hybrid new generation of cow will have properties from both. One property will be obtained from one cow, one from another. Chance is very low. So what should we do? We should increase rate of intercourse, of sexual intercourse between animals, and get more and more and more number of uh, daughter cows, and maybe in some generation we will get a cow which will have two properties. It is long, it is time consuming, it is money consuming, chances still very low, but naturally that selection was used. The same in plants. We can take two plants with desirable properties, cross them and try to get generation which will have both properties. But again, you need two plants, male and female plant, with both should have suitable properties to have good generation next one. And it was very long, very time consuming industry. And nowadays we have genetic engineering. We know that we can find required gene, cut it from one organism and set it into other organism. So that science actually helping us to save a lot of time, to save a lot of money. You don't need to try to make new organisms by selection. You just need to take required genes, insert both in one plant, you get required property in that organism. So that type of food products which obtained with the help of genetic engineering, it doesn't matter if it is directly that plant, for example, tomato cherry, genetic engineering, size can be changed, can be regulated by genes. If we need to make small tomato, we can do it. If some cow, natural, good, wild type cow, but it is feeded with the help of genetically modified plants, any food product produced from or using genetically modified organisms referred to GM food, genetically modified food. You can find a lot of articles about that type of food, but according to our Russian as minimum laws, if food have no genetically modified organisms, it should be labeled with, or it can be labeled with specific label. Again, I turn back to that slide. Any of that symbol, it can have different multiplication. Usually it is few leaves of some plant, green label, stamp or some other signature. GMO free, no GMO, natural product, organic product, any label means that that product obtained without genetically modified organisms. If that label is absent, it means that some ingredient, as minimum one ingredient in that product, is obtained with the help of genetic engineering. So, again, is it good or bad? Just to make it easier, to make it more suitable for understanding, let's make an example. For example, potato. Everyone likes potato. A lot of countries, a lot of nations, a lot of continents, everywhere, a lot of people likes potato. We can make a lot of different fruit products from potato. Chips potato, dried potato, potato pie, potato cakes, potato soup, potato boiled, potato fried, a lot of. And of course, everywhere in any place you will come in any food store, potato. Everywhere you will find potato. But what is potato? What is it? Potato, of course, it is a plant. It is plant that have two parts, overground and underground. Overground, it is a plant, green leaves, it needs sun, it can make flowers. The main interested for us part of that potato is underground. It is potato itself. You need to grow that potato, you need to feed it, you need to supply it with water. Underground part will grow. Usually in spring, you need to start, and autumn you will finish, you will get a harvest. So that potato can be, it should be washed, and it can be used to get any food product. So how many potatoes do we need? Again, in every country, in every continent, we have millions of people who eat and who like potato. We need huge amount of potato. But how to grow potato? It's very small plant. It cannot give a lot of harvest. And actually, to grow enough amount of potato, we need fields, we need hundreds of kilometers square of potato, and not every country even can afford that growing because a lot of huge area is required to grow that potato. And of course, a lot of time, a lot of money, a lot of powers are required, and you will have one harvest of potato. In autumn you will get almost nothing because potato is not very easy to grow plant. It required a lot of again hearts. So if you will just use simple potato, by multiple reasons we will talk later, you will have very few harvest. It's slowly growing, it's small in size. You need a lot of again different things to do to grow potato. So how to increase the growth, how to stimulate the growth of potato? Of course, any company, any agriculture company needs money. It needs to get money, it needs to have profit. And of course, it's not interested, it's not reasonable for company to waste a lot of time, a lot of money. And if as the result you will have very few potato. So what to do? Which substances can stimulate the growth, increase the growth? Of course, it is hormones, and different food supplies are used to feed plants. They're added in soil, they're diluted in water, and they are supplied for plant to stimulate the growth. We will add hormones, potato is growing faster, and as the result, you will have that size of potato. It's much bigger, it's much heavier. Of course, it will give more profit, but it is still few in amount because you have bigger in size, but it's still the same amount of potato plants. And of course, besides poor growth of the plant, you have one more problem. Natural enemy of potato, it is a Colorado bug. Those bugs prefers potato leaves. And of course, when you will try to grow potato, they will come. The whole army of those bugs will come to you. They will eat all plants. Potato will not grow. As the result, you will have nothing. So, of course, again, it is a loss of money. To prevent that effect, we need to do correctly. We need to use some insecticides, chemicals which can kill bugs. Bugs will be dead, you will have good harvest. But you need to cover the whole area with those insecticides. We have potato engine, field engines. Even planes are used to cover all fields with chemicals, with insecticides. Of course, as the result, you will kill bugs. Bugs are dead, you have your normal harvest. Your potato can grow, and as a result, you will have much bigger amount of potato. It will grow good, but what is the price? First of all, you feed your plant with hormones. Hormones will be absorbed by drugs, by plants, and they will accumulate in plants. When you will eat potato, you will eat some amount of those chemicals, and it is a chance that they will affect your body as well. When you're using insecticides, you will kill not only Colorado bug, you will kill everything around. Butterflies, bees, bugs, spiders, everyone is dead. Is it a good price? Besides that, you use insecticides, they will accumulate in the plant as well. They will diffuse in soil, they will be absorbed by that potato. And of course, it is proved, it is confirmed that a lot of chemicals can accumulate, chemicals used in agriculture, they can accumulate in different vegetables, potatoes included. And of course, they have confirmed negative effect on our body. So let's think, what is the problem? First, for example, that Colorado bag. If we will not remove that bug will eat our plants. So how to do it? First one is the use of insecticides, but we said that it is for sure bad idea. It is for sure influence on our health. We need to avoid use of chemicals. So let's try to find out why Colorado bugs eats potato. Why the bug eats only potato? It will not eat any other type of grass. It is always present in potato. So the main reason, potato have unique smell. That smell, that odor can be recognized by bugs, and they are attracted by that smell. That's why they eat only that plant. We already know, we studied genetics, we know that every property of every organism is coded by a gene. So it should be some gene in potato which is coding for that smell. And we identified a gene. We know which gene is responsible for that odor. So what do we need to do? Right, we need to remove that gene. If we will remove the gene, potato plant have no smell, Colorado bug cannot recognize that smell, it will not eat potato. That's why current genetically modified potato very rarely affected by bugs. They just not eaten that, they cannot recognize it, have another smell. Problem is solved, you don't need to use chemicals. So we have another problem, another thing. Potato is poorly growing. So again, growth, speed of growth, size of plant, uh, rate of harvest is coded, every property is coded by a gene. So we need to find gene which is responsible for example, size of potato, or maybe speed of growth. And we can increase activity of that gene. Or we can insert another gene from some one type of plant which is coding for much faster growth. And now you don't need to use hormones, you don't need to use some chemicals to stimulate the growth. Naturally, gene will increase speed of growth of that potato. And instead of one, for example, potato plant, you will have harvest equal to three potato plants. And you don't need to use any chemicals. You don't need to use pesticides. Insects are alive. You don't need to eat those food products filled in with different products, bad and for sure harmful products. As the result, no chemicals, no pesticides, insecticides, no hormones, and you have huge amount of potato, as many as you need. And that potato is absolutely clean. No hazardous chemicals are here. So what is better? To eat natural wild type potato filled in with hormones, filled in with insecticides, have the whole fields, massive areas with dead insects, or genetically modified but absolutely free of chemicals potato. It's looking like yes, it is good, it's much better. So, what is the problem? The problem is some people thinking, and actually, we cannot confirm or we cannot deny the theory that genetically modified organisms have unnatural composition of genes, and that unnatural composition of genes can influence on our health. Maybe it is the factor increasing, for example, rate of cancer diseases. Maybe those hazard changed that genetically changed organisms can have some influence on our further generations. Maybe we cannot prove that it is not so, but actually it is absolutely the same DNA. As we said, DNA is always the same. Doesn't matter plant or human or some bacteria, virus. It is identical. And if you will remove the gene, it is actually analog of mutation. Of course, in that amount of plant, some plants will be mutant. Mutation occurred naturally. We always eating mutated products. And if that mutation occurred naturally or you induce that mutation, what's the point? It is still the same DNA. Yes, one gene is absent, one may be activated, but it is the same DNA. So that problem is still the topic for discussion because no one can prove that they are right. We cannot confirm, we cannot prove that GMOs are safe. They don't have any influence on our health. But the second part of people cannot confirm that it is harmful. No one can confirm that GMO is the reason of increased cancer, for example, or it can induce some other disease, that it is dangerous for our generations. It's not possible to confirm. So nowadays, again, it is decided that GMO products should be available because they are cheaper, they are looking like more safe. But if food product was genetically modified, then manufacturer cannot put the label GMO free product. If some company, some manufacturer want to use only natural products, they can make products natural without any GMO techniques, and they can put the label GMO free. So, if you care, if you really think that GMO, for example, is bad, go to the store and take a look on every product. If you will identify GMO free, if you will find that label, that product is absolutely natural. No compounds here are modified by genetic engineering. But I'm sure you that if you will try, it will be very difficult because main number of food products, main number of milk, meat, plant products, chocolate, the main number are obtained with the help of genetic engineering. Again, we have huge number of examples. Peanuts, for example. We have peanut oil. We have different types of candies. We have those nuts just free. Again, huge amount of peanuts are sold. A lot of chocolates with peanuts. Where to take that amount? Previous years, we didn't have that amount. It was difficult, and the chocolate was much more expensive. We containing different nuts because it was very difficult to grow those nuts. And nowadays, it's absolutely easy. Genetic engineering increased the amount of nuts, increased rate of multiplication, more harvest, bigger harvest. It's easy because organisms are genetically modified. We don't need to use so amount of chemicals because modified organisms can be modified in that manner. They will be more resistant to diseases, more resistant to bugs, and it's easier to cultivate those plants because they're growing without your attention. They're growing fast. They do not affected by diseases and by plants. So if you didn't find label GMO free, it means that Some, as minimum one, component is obtained with the help of genetic engineering. Even milk, if it is no GMO-free label, it means that it is obtained from the cow who was genetically modified, or that cow was fed with some plants or food which was genetically modified. And that component contains genetically modified organisms. So of course, you can make your choice. We will wait for future studies, for future investigations. Maybe some new information will be obtained. I, of course, will provide it and share it with you. But till nowadays, still, that problem is not solved. Make your choice. See you next lectures. Bye bye.